Hey everyone, this is Jackson. I've done a lot of work for David on his, let me see here, his, a lot of his stuff now, including one that's about to be sent back to him along with this stuff, but I'm sending these on Facebook Messenger to him, because I'm videoing this from my house in Oklahoma, and, so if these videos are going to clip in and out, because they're 30-second long clips on Messenger, that's only allows it me to take it that long, and my 3D printer is also working on something for David as well, so that's why all those, yeah. So we'll start off with the real deal so we can get a base point on everything. This is the control in the project, so I'm not going to go really into it, but this is my side stick controller. Completely just refurbished the grip, got it all powder coated, some new switches in there. Here is my side stick controller. It is from an A model, because you can see from the 3 screws rather than the 4. That's how you tell the difference between them. And of course in the movements, there's the back, the bottom, but yeah, this is our control. So my A model side stick right here, it has about half the displacement of the C model, which people think that it doesn't move at all, and it's not really designed to, but no matter how much metal, concrete, epoxy, no matter any kind of thing that you glue to something or weld together, there's always going to be a little bit of flex in whatever material it is, which is what this thing has, and there are some screws right here to actually adjust it on a real side stick, but yeah, it still has about that much displacement. There's no need to, because as long as you just calibrate it with any board, you're going to have the accurate forces, because the forces on this are determined with these screws and where the base stops at. So if you just buy it from just original, not unmodified, it should work. This base, I forget how much force it comes with pre-programmed into it or set up to. It's pretty close to the real deal, but because I just tested it on my sim rig. By the way, all this is the same dimensions, bolts up, works. It's amazing, works with the sim. Now we're going to start off with our competitors that are trying to replicate this. So we have Tianghang's F16 Pro side stick, and then this is, this is Chris's from Invictus, and then this is Tianghang's side stick. So basically I'm going to start off with Tianghang's first. I thought this was going to be, this was just going to destroy Chris's in every way possible. I don't know why. I thought that maybe because it was coming with displacement and had the design and everything. I'm not sure why. But everything about this side stick is amazing. It weighs just as much as the real deal, even with the plastic resin grip he makes. My real one, with the steel grip versus his, they weigh the exact same, which is really, really neat. Everything about it's amazing. It weighs just as much as mine. I have the real deal, real base, real grip. This base and plastic resin grip, it weighs the same. Everything about it is just amazing. I thought I was going to completely destroy Chris's. I don't know why. But here, let's test this cable here. So each USB cables have 4 pins, 4 wires, positive and minus for power and ground, and plus and minus for data. So look at how this clicks in here. This is just the most smartest thing I've ever. So let's take it off here and forget about that for now. That's amazing. Cap kind of reminds me of the Bourbon stuff. I've never had it, but it has that interface. These bolts are, of course, very, very big compared to the real deal and Chris's. I don't know why they're so big, but they are. His base is very, very strong. There's no breaking it. The bolts are very deep in there, almost a little too deep, actually. But yeah, overall, the construction is very, very nice. Now it's time for the bad news. Basically, the problem is that while Tianghang tried to implement displacement into his, while Chris is working on that, this is his V2. I'm trying to get him to sell this one as an A model version because it functions so well to mine. It works as an A model. His V2, I'm going to have him rename it that, and his V3 will be the displacement replicating version. So it would be nice if he sold the V2 as an A model one when the C model, his V3, comes out, because this, I'll get on that later, how well it works to this, but let's talk about the displacement. So this is, honestly, I hate to say it this way and I hate to call it this way, but I mean, the everything about the base is amazing. The only thing Chris has on him is what's it called? Aesthetics, that's what David calls it, and the plate and everything. Otherwise, it's very light, which is a good thing. You always want it to be as light as possible while being strong still. They both replicate dimensions exact 1-to-1. They both have, even the screws are a little bit more realistic to how the real ones are. But talk about the displacement here. So, in my opinion, everything about it's amazing. I love the base. It's just that the displacement's the one terrible thing about this. It is absolutely unrealistic. It's horrible. I like Tianghang, I like everything he does and he makes, but this is going to need a completely new redesign to make this function, because this basically is like a gimbal that's magnetically spring-loaded. Let me elaborate on it. So it's basically how this works is how it feels is like the real deal, because I've actually adjusted mine to have the real forces with the set screws you can adjust, because the real deal has mechanical stops, which is where it stops moving. Now these two bases don't have that, but they just stop on their own. But what was I gonna say here? I forgot what I was gonna say. Now, even whenever you're moving them, even with my base, there's no even with all the displacement in the new C model base, there's no center detent. It's just a metal plate with a stick coming up, or it's not that, it's more complicated, but it essentially is just a flex plate. You can picture it as that, a metal disc with a stick coming up. It doesn't lock into place or snap into place or click into place. It has all the displacement and movement, but it just, like, when you go to move it and to move it back, it just moves. The word I can use is just very gracefully just moves and about just where you move it. But with Tianhang's base, it's almost as if he used like some sort of gimbal mechanism here, like a gimbal like in any of the other consumer non-force sensing joysticks. He used a gimbal, and whenever you go to move it in and out of place, you can physically feel it going out of a detent and going back into a detent. It clicks. I use the term magnetic detent because it's force sensing and it clicks in, so it almost feels like there's magnetic force that holds it in place, but just because it's force sensing, it doesn't actually have magnets in it. But it's just so unrealistic to the real deal, and I don't know how he would fix that. He would need to completely redesign the entire unit as itself, and it just destroys this, and it makes me so mad and sad because this is such a good base, but that one issue just destroys. Until he redesigns it, honestly, this is your best bet for having displacement. If you want displacement, buy this, but if you want the realism but no displacement, I would buy this right now. But yeah, this is such an amazing base and product. It's just the one thing, it makes it so incredibly terrible. I know I'm really hating on this base right now, but I really do like it. It's just that one thing completely ruins it. And if you're looking for displacement, I mean, buy this one, but it's just so unrealistic. Okay, now it's time for Chris's base from Invictus. So this thing with Tianhang's grip here, all I did was mount it on here, hooked it up to the Cougar, run the calibration, how Chris has told us in his documentation tutorial on it. But after you do all that and hook it up, which is really, really simple, it feels just like this one. I mean, with the grip on, now, the force is adjustable in the Cougar software. The force is adjustable on this if you want to. No needing to mess with it at all, adjust it or anything, nothing like that. It just bolts right up, so if you have a real pit, real everything, and you're looking for a stick, I would say buy this one, even if you want the displacement, just because you can 3D print rings right here or for under here, or use silicone or O-rings to get the displacement that you want, and it would feel correct, as in how this just like literally snaps in and snaps out, then it moves, but it just but back to the space. It's aesthetically, I mean, it's correct. The bottom part, I mean, there's this, but that doesn't make a difference at all. It does use the Cougar board, which everyone hates it. The software is really complicated, or it's not, but it's like complicated on your system. It makes certain things stop and work, and it's just really weird. But once you get it all hooked up, it's really okay, and it's really easy to adjust the force. But only my last remark on this is that when you hook it up, it feels just like the A model base. So if you're looking to simulate something with half the movement of the real deal, exact forces, exact displacement, exact feeling, curve, and everything, and the sensors in this are honestly just as good as this, if not better. These ones are brand new, these ones are old. Now these ones work really well, they're mil-spec, they're meant to last forever, and they do. But these ones are just as good as this, they just wouldn't work in a plane. Now my last thing is that if you hook this up, I just want to make sure everyone knows that for me, it's just a couple of pounds less, but I don't know how to figure this out. Me, Chris, and David are all still working on it in the Cougar software. We're going to figure out it. It's a really simple fix. You adjust the force on the real deal, and even this one, by setting and changing curves. So, like, you know, in the software, it spirals like this. So that's how you would adjust it, and it's just a little bit too light, just by a couple pounds. I mean, the real deal is 31 back, 31 forward, 19 left, 19 right. That's what mine is. There's a couple different variables. They're all the same though. I mean, they're all different, but they're all very similar. But I bet his is probably 28 or 29 pitch and roll. No, sorry, pitch up and pitch down. Maybe a little less, and probably around 14 or 15 pounds in roll. It's very close, but we just need minor adjustments. Yeah, even if you guys want displacement, I know you're going to want Tianghang's, and it's just everything about it. Plug in a USB cable and it works, rather than having to have Cougar software and all these cables, but that will eventually be fixed. His standalone PCB is coming out very soon. But even if you guys want all about this, I'm going to very, very push you to buy Chris's, not because, I mean, I paid my own money for this. These aren't even mine, they're David's, my friends. But this just so accurate and precise to the real deal. With, like I said, that if we figured out how to adapt my real metal grip onto here, I couldn't tell if a real bass versus this bass. This bass is just that good, and it functions that amazing, and it's unbelievably insane. I've never felt anything like this before. I've had a couple other simulator stick basses, but this one's just so incredible, and this one needs a complete redesign, but that's just how it works. I guess we had some miscommunications with how this works, but yeah, this bass right here is just from Chris over at Invictus Cockpit Systems, is phenomenal. It works better than any other bass you can buy right now. You can even mount it to a desktop if you want with the wooden plate adapter like this. Very simple. I mean, everyone can just screw it in. It's not that complicated. But this right here is just amazing. I would buy this one. Replicates the real bass. That's basically it. That's all I have. If David wants to add in anything right here, he can. But that's basically all I have to say. It's very obvious of the winner of this. But yeah, that's it, and that's all I have. So yeah, go with this one. Okay, so I'm just going to explain this one more time because this video is mainly directed towards Tianhang and Chris, but I'm mainly talking about his bass right now. And you may have heard me repeating a lot of things and explaining it very easy or in a dumb way, and there's a lot of redundancy with what I'm saying, but there's because of language barrier, because Tianhang actually does not speak any English at all, and the fact that he's already designing this and taking all this data from us and making something that's already to this level is pretty crazy to me, which he's doing a good job. But yeah, let me explain. So explaining this again, basically the gimbal is doesn't even really feel force sensing until you snap out of the dead zone here. So first off, I will say that the stick needs a lot more movement for the axis. There's no dead zone set at all. But like with my real grip, if I'm holding it right here, or even with Chris's, and if I just move it like this on the ground, no bolted up, hooked up to my amps in the computer, it already moves a quarter. It already moves like a quarter of the amount of force, or about half, on the Windows USB viewer tool. In Tianhang's, I mean, all my might, it moves, the cross maybe barely jumps over 1 bit. I mean, it needs to move a lot more there. And also the gimbal, the system needs to be fixed. I really keep calling it a gimbal because I think it is a gimbal. It sounds impossible to work that way with a force sensing stick, but I mean, just like right now, I can feel it snapping in and out of place. Like I push it, I can pull it back the best. I don't know if you can hear it. My printer's running, but I don't know if you can hear it. You may be able to feel it only, but it doesn't even feel like strain gauges, force sensors, anything. It almost just feels like that there's Hall effect sensors in there, and that whenever you move it, the stick moves the Hall effect sensors very little, because there's a difference between having a little bit of Hall effect or potentiometer movement and force transducers, because whenever I move this a little bit, that honestly explains why it doesn't move much, because there's no straining involved. I think it's literally a gimbal. Take a Thrustmaster Warthog gimbal, put a really strong spring in there, and then having it put a ring around it that limits it to move only, this much. With the way that the gimbal is made and everything, it literally clicks in and out of place. It takes you gotta click it out, and then you're good to roll to the left or the right or up or down. It's just, I don't know if, and I know English people will understand, but I don't know if you understand this, and if you don't, then you can tell me and I can explain it to you on Discord better. But I don't know how to explain this any other way. It's just I don't know. But that's I'm trying. That's all I can say right now on it.